Welcome back to Wisdom by Heart. This is episode 7, and we're going to be exploring and memorizing a wonderful quote by a man called Adyashanti. If you haven't heard of him, please look him up. He's a very wise teacher. This week's Wisdom by Heart is especially for those of you who are going through a challenging time. Now is just what's happening, minus everything you think. Now is just what's happening, minus everything you think. Now, I do like to tweak this one a little bit because I prefer the words, life is just what's happening, minus your thoughts about it. But in essence, it's the same thing, so it really doesn't matter. In fact, please take the liberty to do what you want with these quotes, right? They're here for us to spark the wisdom within us so they can guide you in your daily life and really bring you home to your true nature so you don't keep walking through life according to that voice in your head. And I recommend that you write these quotes down and stick them in your pocket. Hopefully you've got a pocket. Not all women's wear has pockets, unfortunately. Now is just what's happening, minus everything you think. These words have been such a supply to me during the last few weeks of my life when everything kind of got turned upside down because someone very near and dear to me became really seriously ill. Adyashanti's words bring us back to the facts. Remember the facts. What's actually happening, minus the story. Because it's so easy to get stuck in the story of what's happening. And the story of what's happening isn't usually very helpful. In fact, it's often incredibly stressful and actually adds layers of stress onto what's happening. Now is just what's happening. And whatever's happening, however difficult and challenging it may be, if I can meet the situation as it is, minus my thoughts about it, then somehow some space is created around what's happening. And in this space, I'm able to meet this whole situation with more clarity, with more wisdom, with more peace. Now is just what's happening, minus everything you think. We don't want to minus everything we think because, to be fair, some of our thoughts are very necessary and very useful. In fact, we want to think of the best way to meet this situation that's happening, don't we? But the trouble is, if we're stuck in this sort of looped, unhelpful, stressful thinking about what's happened and why did this have to happen and, how are we going to get through this and what does the future look like? If we're stuck in that, we won't have the capacity for any new helpful thoughts to come in. Remind yourself every day during this difficult time in your life that now is just what's happening, minus your thinking. Bring yourself back to the fact of what's happening and leave the story to one side because it's not helpful. The story, the tragic story of what's happened, doesn't help us deal with what's actually happening. Now, I need to point out that it's very important that you allow yourself to feel what you're feeling, right? Let yourself grieve if you need to. Let yourself just feel all the emotions. Don't try and push them down. Don't try and push your thoughts away. Don't try and do any of that forced stuff. We don't need to force anything. All we need to do is become aware of what we're doing, of what's happened and how we are handling what's happened. And we want to come back to this place of presence where we can connect with the wisdom within us, because this wisdom is going to guide you every day, guide you in how to meet this situation with love and understanding. It's going to guide you into some kind of peace. Even when you feel that you can't handle things anymore, there will be an anchor there that you will be able to return to again and again. Allow yourself, as a human being, to go through whatever it is you're going through. But remember to come back to now, this precious, peaceful now. Now, in this moment of my breath, this moment of stillness among the chaos. In this moment, life is just what's happening right now, without any thoughts about it, without the need for a story, without the nightmare narrative. There's enough to deal with without all that being added to it. This is the essence of these words. That no matter what's happening, there is a space within you that you can come back to again and again, where you can have relief, rest. We don't need to go on and on about how terrible this thing is. It's just what's happened. And you may find in this place, deep within, the most incredible resilience, the most amazing capacity to actually meet this moment as it is, and the strength and grace to live through it. Life is just what's happening, minus your thoughts about it. We need to realize that there is a better way to deal with these difficult life circumstances. Every day is new. Please learn to take one day at a time. Focus on today, the only day that really exists. Begin the day with freshness. End the day with gratitude, if nothing else than simply for the fact that you made it through another day. Let there be spaces in your thinking, and let there be moments in your day when you become still, when you find the stillness in the anchor of your breath, no matter what's going on outwardly, no matter what's going on in your mind. Experience nature's healing energy. All these things are what I call real self-care. Ultimately, life is always teaching us, through every experience, what's truly important, what matters, what to appreciate and not take for granted anymore. And that we have within us an undescribable, unfathomable, unconditional love that can meet every moment in the best way. When you look at your life circumstances through your thoughts, you stop experiencing life as it really is. Notice when you're creating stories of suffering around what's happening, stories of tragedy, betrayal, and injustice. Use whatever is here with you now to come out of the story. What can you see, hear, smell, taste, or touch? As you come back to presence again and again, grace will meet you throughout the day. Now is just what's happening, minus everything you think. If you're enjoying these wisdom quotes, I invite you to come over to my Facebook group, the Wisdom Quotes Cafe. You can find your way there, along with access to all my best free content on my website, alikireddy.com.